Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This time we're going to be taking another look at the top builds currently in PvP. We've just had the new season start. We're a fair few days in now, and we've had the Chimera being added. We're now playing on Arathi Basin, which is a very different map than Alterac Valley, and I want to see if any of these builds have changed. We will be going through every single leader and what is currently the highest rated player slash build on warcraftrumble.gg. Now again, the usual little note, this is not strictly the full leaderboard. This requires people to sort of log in and or search names to be able to update, but this is at least a good look at some of the higher rated leaders, so it gives a pretty good idea. So we will start off with Baron Riven, the highest ranking player at the moment, with honor is 5,243 with Uku, I believe. So if we can click here, we can check out the Baron deck. Doesn't look like too much has changed. Baron Riven, of course, the leader with Chill of the Grave, as we were well aware, easily the best talent, and there weren't really any nerfs or anything in the patch for the season launch, so who knew? Baron's still decent. Skeletons is 2 drops, something that wasn't, played too much, at least in the early days of Season 1, I guess, with Questing Blades, where 1 gains armor, 1 gains resist, 1 gains stealth, so pretty, Questing Buddies, sorry, I think I said Questing Blades, but yeah, that's the talent, again, kind of the go-to talent for that one. Dark Iron Miner, favorite mini of mine, with the Proximity Mine, on there as well, which is one I've been messing with the armor recently, but Proximity Mine is definitely a good go-to and one I've used the most. Quillbore is Quillbore, even with a map that's not quite as big and has quite as many it's got no chests on it to grab with Quillbore, to defend with Quillbore. It's all about those mines. Still, very cheap mini for a good tanky build, and it is going to be running that Bristleback, which again is kind of the go-to talent, at least in PvP. Next up, and this is probably one we're going to see more often here, which is this Blizzard being played. And the reason I think this is good, not only is Blizzard just good, right? I think we all agree it's just one of the best, if not the best spell in the game, with the Cold Snap, which freezes, which includes stunning melee, ground unit, should I say. Very, very strong, but I do think with the way the PvP is right now on this map, there's only 2 routes to go, right? There's no bridge crossing over, moving over this, moving over that. You can't go under the bridge. There's not that many routes to attack. So Blizzard really, it sort of gets improved by the fact that there's less space for your opponent's minis to be. Therefore, they'll probably clump more often. And a lot of strategies, at least I've seen at my ranks, is the sort of death ball approach has been pretty common as well. So Blizzard looking good. Safe Pilot needs nerfing, whatever. It's Safe Pilot. We all know how strong it is. Huge disappointment for me this season so far is that Safe Pilot with Gnomish Cloaking Device just beats Chimera, which hurts my soul. Hopefully it gets changed. And then good old-fashioned Griffin Rider with Mighty Throw for that extra range. Again, pretty solid build. The skeleton's not super common, but again, it looks like decks are still going for that really, really cheap cost. So that is Baron Riven there. Still seemingly, I think Baron was actually the highest rated, 5,200. It looks like Baron and this player is the highest rated overall, so that makes sense. So yeah, Baron, there we go. Next up, for those, I know there are a few of you, Blood Mage Thanos enjoyers, we have Moon Badge, currently the highest rated on here, with 3,647. So let's see what they're cooking up with Blood Mage Thanos. We have Blood Mage with the Bane, playing a spell increased attack speed by 30% for 5 seconds. Dark Iron Miner, going with the Proximity Mine as well. Pretty strong overall. Sorry if you hear me sniff a little bit, I'm still a bit sick. Polymorph, going up there. Again, this will be spell heavy, as you can imagine. But Polymorph with Golden Fleece. Golden Fleece just feels like the best Polymorph, because you kind of get a refund out of that. Holy Nova, with the allies gain armored and resist for 5 seconds. And this makes sense, even though anyone who's been watching me sees I've been trying Holy Nova with the heal over time talent. I've been trying that with minis that are beefier, whereas as you can see with this build, there's a lot of small minis in here and Thanos themselves, so it's less about the heal over time and more about them not taking much damage in the first place. So Holy Nova makes sense. Arcane Blasts with Torrent that gain a level after casting rank 4, so that's going to be pretty strong overall as well. Quillbore, of course, but this time with Deploy More Quickly. I think this is probably a nod to, if you're playing Thanos, I am no Thanos specialist, but if you are going to be playing Thanos, I think that your priority is defending Thanos, not letting him die. So Quillbore's probably an answer to some more unbound options your opponent could play. Very similar reason to play Scythe Pilot with coming in hot. It hits faster, it does what it needs to do a little bit faster, and the burn damage may help out against some things as well. So really interesting build there. One I probably would try out, except I don't have a couple of these talents, so a little bit rough, but definitely a solid Blood Mage Thanos build. Okay, so next up as we go back here, who have we got? Ken. Okay, Ken's one of my favorite heroes in the game right now. So let's take a look. It looks like it's a HYH, and Ken is 4,098 here. So let's quickly scroll down. Oh, perfect. There we go. So we've got Ken Bloodhoof, of course, with the reincarnation. It's my favorite talent as well, even though the planes striding or planeswalking one is hilarious. Resurrection or reincarnation seems really, really strong overall. Ken's going to be backed up, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. Dark Spear Troll with Big Bad Voodoo. Of course, it's strong. We know this, especially in Ken, because Ken naturally gains 20% HP on his Horde minis that are in the deck. So it's not only healing over time, but it's also regenerating 20% health every second, and the troll will have more health because of Ken, so it's really strong. The interesting factor here is Frostwolf Shaman to fill out that Horde slot in Ken, and it is going to have Earthwall Totem. Once per deploy, place a totem that partially heals a nearby tower or base. Pretty interesting, because there are not... This might be the only effect in the game that heals your own base, as far as I'm aware. So really interesting there, pretty powerful, and of course, good backup with the Ken, just making him even more tanky. With the heals, of course. Then we have Safe Pilot with the coming in hot, which we've discussed. Holy Nova with Inner Fire. Again, these, I did sort of mention that Death Balls, at least for me, seem to be pretty popular. Ken, Dark Spear Troll, Frostwolf Shaman with a Holy Nova is one heck of a death ball. And then we have Dark Iron Miner with Fury, which is kind of interesting. Starts to attack faster. And then to finish it off, we have the Prowler with Stealth and Stun the target when attacking. Great mini overall, a really one I've used a ton, but interesting. This is the first deck we've seen it in. We'll probably see it more because one of the heroes we've done so far is Thanos, which yeah, it's probably not going to run it. So really nice Ken build. I am very interested in this. I don't have this talent, but the more I look at it in this current meta, the more I want to try it out, although mine might even not be that high level, so I've got some work to do. Okay, next up we have... Oh, Chalga. Okay, that is a name I'm going to believe it's Russian, but I could be wrong. Chalga... Wait, look at this player. 6k Chalga main. The other two leaders, 400 and 594. And then Chalga, 6k. What is going on? Okay, let's investigate Charles. Here we go. So we've got Chalga Razor Flank here. Chalga with the, root 2 additional nearby targets, but deal half damage. Nature's Grasp. Chalga, hilariously, looks not that strong as a hero until you realize that when it goes up against a melee unit alone, it just wins because the melee unit can't get there, which is very hilarious. So interesting that sort of AoE root. This is a weird build. I love it. It's like AoE root. And then we have the Null Brute with Rabid. Reduce deploy cost by 1 and gain the cycle trait. That makes absolute sense, obviously, in a Chalga deck. Harpies with Trinket Collectors. Interesting, to try and just get hold of more gold. Huntress with Elven Might for the 50% additional damage to the first target. Flamewaker. This is weird. I don't know. Is this correct? I don't know. Maybe this is a PvE deck, but I don't know why it would be a PvE deck today, because we're in Horde territory right now, and also this is the only PvP hero they play, so okay, we'll see how it goes. But damaging enemies dazes them. Okay, Heat Stroke. And then Skeleton Party, but with summon 5 skeletal mages who guard the deploy location. So again, really weird, really interesting. And then Abomination with fresh meat. After hooking a target, deal double damage on the next attack. Really weird. I guess they're just relying on getting like big boys out with the sort of Chalga costing 2, Null costing 2. But yeah, really sort of going for beefy units instead. Very strange. I'd love to see how this actually plays out if this is the deck. So moving on from Chalga to General Dracasath, currently sitting in at 4,500. Let's scroll down to find. There we go. And again, this is part of that sort of death ball discussion. This is a build that we've seen time and time again. General Dracasath with chromatic scales to give allies resistant. Dark Iron Miner with Fury. Blizzard with Cold Snap for the stun to defend General Dracasath. Frostwolf Shaman, but of course this time Earth Shield to give the Dracasath Earth Shield, which is the plan. Ogre Mage with Gain Frost to create that Frost Firebolt. Kind of interesting, but again, if you can sort of create that sort of death ball, the Ogre Mage does AoE, covers the aerial issues, and also can, you know, just be really good backup with Bloodlust. Safe Pilot with the coming in hot to maybe burn stuff down and defend, mainly to kill the opponent's safe pilots and stuff, I imagine, or defend a polymorph. And then Inner Fire again on the Holy Nova. So not too much different there. I think Dracasath generally lends itself to this strategy. Yes, there are some changes here and there, but really, you play the Dracasath, you play the Shaman, you play some kind of ranged. Looks like this player's gone with Ogre Mage instead of Tazdingo, which is the one I saw the most. But yeah, again, the usual build, nothing too crazy going on there. Next up, we have Grom Hellscream, and Grom got a buff, and this is Taulad. Taulad was I think top in our previous video of this a few weeks back. So checking out Grom. Grom, I believe, gained a few hundred more health was the buff he got. So kind of interesting. Grom himself going to be having the mirror image to summon 2 extras when going in combat, which is, it's nice. I have the deal more damage when below 50%, but still mirror image not bad. Stonehoof Tauren with momentum. Obviously fantastic, we all know that. Chain Lightning with the stun enemies for 1 second helps defend Grom, especially against some like pesky aerial units. That's pretty much what the Tide Hunters are for as well, with the Murlocs with the safety bubbles, to defend Grom and not let just an air unit just kill him no problem. Quillball's Quillball with Bristleback, Safe Pilot with Gnomish Cloaking, and then the Griffin. So really all-rounder kind of build here. The Murlocs defend Grom, the Murlocs defend Stonehoof, as well as the Griffin, of course, and then the Chain Lightning just off the top there to help out. So a pretty solid overall Grom build. And next up, Hoger. And Hoger's currently sitting at 4.3.5k, I guess, in honor. Let's quickly grab hold here. Hoger, here we go with Ham Hock. Not too much of a surprise. Hoger also gains 10% max health each time he is played. It's the best one. You want to cycle Hoger, and then he gets a lot of health. Quillball with the deploy more quickly. I need to test this, because I've not really noticed how much more quickly it becomes. But look, after Quillball, look at the rest of this build. Vultures. I don't think I have ever played against Vultures in PvP in my entire life. All Vultures spawn... Sorry, all additional Vultures spawn at your base. So the idea is it's just Vulture, Vulture, Vulture. It's sort of like an endless sort of push, I guess. Kind of similar to the Murlocs. Defias Bandits with Picklock, of course, we know the deal. Although, maybe not the best currently. Talent, maybe they only have this talent because you wouldn't play this on the current PvP map. Safe Pilot with Gnomish, Whelp Eggs with Flame Burst, and then Blizzard. Very interesting. We've not seen that many Whelp Eggs at the moment, so pretty strange to not see too many. Maybe we'll see more before we are done with this video, of course, but a surprise of something. I feel like everyone was running Whelp Eggs a few weeks ago, and now they're kind of, you know, lessening just a little bit. So yeah, that is going to be Hoger. And now quickly moving on to Jana, 4,582 rating here. I wish it would do it in order of rating, that'd be nice, but I think it's alphabetical at the moment. Jaina here with Clear Casting. Spells cost 1 less gold. If they're played right after Jaina, fair enough. And then Harvest Golem for the Alliance slot with Chickens, the Trojan Chickens, which isn't bad, right? Harvest Golem tanks a lot, and then you drop out something that can like do fast attacks. Defias Bandits with Poison. Again, you don't need the Picklock on this map because there are no treasure chests. Execute for Jaina, which is apparently really strong in this meta, in this map. That's what the words I was looking for. They left my brain. With Killing Spree, which might be the only talent they have, but also Chain Lightning is a Horde mini, and you might think, oh well, Raven, they have Clear Casting. Well, sometimes you might need to do it without Jaina being played, right? It's probably not optimal, but this makes it cost 1 kind of no matter what. You can flick between those. Deep breath. Well, sorry, chain lightning with the stun, which we saw. Deep breath. Cast a second wave. This, I've not played deep breath. I don't have it yet, but this must be pretty good if you've got Jana down as well. This must really deal damage. And then your usual Quillbot to defend. I feel for me that Jana has been the leader that I have seen the most build variety out of in the last, since the game came out, really. So I've seen so many different Jana builds. I feel like no one's quite getting it right, or maybe just the meta's changing. We'll see. So yeah, really cool Jana build. I would love to test it if I could. Mayv now is back to Uku again. 5.25280. Oh, this is actually higher than Baron. I didn't even notice. Yeah, this is actually higher than Baron right now. Let's see what this build is. Where is she? There we go. So, Mayv with the Enveloping Shadows cast Smoke Bomb on deploy, stealthing nearby allies. Pretty useful, I think. I think this is one of the more flashy talents that you can get fun stuff done with. Griffin Rider, nice and cheap with 3 range. Gnomish cloaking, with Gnomish cloaking, sorry. Safe Pilot with Gnomish cloaking, there we go. Dark Iron with the Mine. Skeletons with questing buddies. Quillbot with Bristleback and Chain Lightning. So nothing to write home about here. I think this is just Mayv is strong, and we kind of know this because Unbound is very strong. I've spoken about this in other videos. By all means, check them out. But yeah, this is just going to be Mayv equals good, Unbound equals strong, even on a smaller map. And next up, as we are moving towards the end now, is Old Murkai, currently sitting at, 5.4k, it looks like there. Let's scroll down to find him really quick. There we go. So Old Murkai with, of course, Marathon of the Murlocs. The sort of go-to talent that I think everyone agrees on is just the overall best, at least in PvP. And then we have Tide Hunters. Not going to go for the extra one, but going to go for the bubble. I think that's wise. The extra Tide Hunter is nice, and the range is nice, but the bubble is simply just soaking damage. Quillbot, we know. Prowler with the predatory instincts. So not going to go for the stealth, which is kind of interesting here. Maybe this is just to help deal way more damage to like tanky minis that this deck might struggle with. Safe Pilot with the quick coming in hot to defend, probably to defend Murkai and some Murlocs. Dark Iron Miner, again, the reason you've seen Dark Iron Miner a lot more currently is because of that central island in Arathi Basin. And then the Whelpegs, so we are seeing a bit more Whelpegs for now. But yeah, decent Murkai build overall, not too bad. And then where are we next? Rend. See, I've noticed no one's playing the Chimera. So we'll see if, of all characters, Rend would be the one, I think, because it's obviously cheaper. But let's see. Do we have the Chimera? We do not. This is going to be the Rend build here with Scale and Steel. Again, the go-to. You gain resistant when you're flying, armored when you're dismounted. We have Drake, which to drop the eggs. Makes perfect sense. I think with Rend especially, the Drake with Mother Drake is too strong to replace with Chimera. I think you would try and replace other stuff maybe. Whelpegs, again, very, very powerful. Griffin Rider with Mighty Throw. Pyromancer with Conflagrate is kind of interesting. I guess it's like an emergency play against, I don't know, Murkai, just any big AoE you're scared of. Maybe it's to beat the Death Balls, right? To beat the Tyrions, the anything that, maybe the Cairns as well, to try and just build up that. And then we have Safe Pilot with Gnomish and Quillbot with the Quick Tunnel. So, yeah, okay. Rend not playing Chimera. It looks like no one is, which makes me sad. I actually really like Chimera. But let's move on to Sneed, currently at 3.8k. Oh, Sneed would be pretty interesting in this meta, actually. But let's see what they have. Let me scroll down here. Okay, so we have Sneed with... No way. Okay, I'm going to assume this is a PvP build, because again, the people at these ratings, you would assume that they're doing PvP. Maybe this is PvE, I don't know, but we will see. So we have Sneed with Lead with Greed. Additional 2 gold when Sneed triggers Sneed before Greed. Makes absolute sense. Firehammer with Molten Metal. Deal 50% more damage to flying enemies. Maybe a bit of a meta call. Blizzard with the Brittle Ice, which is the one I picked up first by mistake, which is enemies within take 30% additional damage from physical. Gargoyle with increased movement speed. Is this to take down the tower? Huh. Worgen with Premeditation for the increased ambush damage, of course. Whelp eggs that blow up, we know this. And then Harpies with Poison. So this actually looks like it's built maybe for the dungeon, I don't know, but realistically, it looks like it could also just be built to melt towers, which it would do, this build. This build would melt towers. So yeah, interesting either way. I'm definitely going to check that one out. Sylvanas Windrunner. Again, a bit of a favourite. Oh, Fieldsy is the one with the Sylvanas. Nice. 4,600. Let's see what they have done with Sylvanas here. Okay, so a Black Arrow, which is, again, I would say the best Sylvanas talent. It makes her basically have a beam attack, and it deals elemental damage, so really strong overall. Plague Farmer with Splashing Pumpkins. I believe that's a funny pun, or a punkin. Increase range by 1 and double the splash area. Pretty strong, but again, this... I don't know what this build is. Is this an Onyxia build, or is this just a weird build? I'd have to see if I can catch Fields in the stream. Because there's Meat Wagon with the Filet Trebuchet, there we go. Increased bombard range, so more range. Big Bad Voodoo for the Troll. Polymorph, Griffin Rider with the range, and Safe Pilot. I wonder if, because this is kind of the idea of I've had in the past with Sylvanas, is if you just play Sylvanas as a sieger, because she herself is good versus towers, because she's got such long range, decent health, and melts anything that comes towards her anyway. And then you have these to deal with the towers. So I wonder if this is a PvP build or not, but either way, I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna definitely test this one, because I could definitely see it, because even though the fortified extra tower on Arathi Basin is hard to take, if you do take it, it's incredibly difficult for your opponent to win at that point. So maybe that's the idea here. I was using sappers in my Sylvanas. And then finally, it looks like it's Fieldsy again with Tyrion going on here. So let's scroll all the way to the bottom and check out this Tyrion list. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it's Tyrion with Divine Shield. I think this is the one everyone went to straight away, which is the 30%, at 30% health, sorry. You gain a shield and absorb all damage. Coming in hot on the Safe Pilot. The Heal Over Time, which is the one I've been playing a lot, the Holy Nova with Renew. Harvest Golem with Unstable Core. On death, stun enemies for 3 seconds. Interesting. Griffin Rider. Polymorph with Golden Fleece, and the Defias Bandits. Really funky build. Is the idea to just have the Harvest Golem, like Tyrion, and Defias Bandits to just take on a tower? I don't know. Kind of strange, but interesting overall. I do like the Holy Nova with the Tyrion, because it's like heals on heals on heals, which I think is a way to really do well in on Arathi Basin, because keeping your minis alive is such a big deal. But yeah, really cool Tyrion list, and that is it overall. If you want to just look at everything, Uku here is the top player at the moment with nearly 15,000, so nearly 1,000 more honor than everyone else, and that's with 5.2k with Baron, 4.4k with Tyrion, and 5.2k with Mayv. As a little bit bonus, let's see what the Tyrion build looks like actually for the top rated player. Okay, it's kind of the usual Tyrion stuff. It just happens to have Tyrion and then the usual suspects on the right. So I just thought I'd check that out. But yeah, that is going to be the video, guys, just to give you a bit of an update on what everyone seems to be playing in the new PvP season. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to, click a like or check a subscribe or something. That would be really nice. You don't have to, though. It's fine. But yeah, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great time. I will see you next time.